let's have a look at ordering fractions then. So you might have a question that says, which one is bigger, a half or 3/5? Now you might not be able to work that out off the top of your head and just know it straight away. So I'm going to show you a way to work it out using what we did in the other episode, simplifying fractions. So if you need to go back and have a recap, have a look at the other video and then come back to this one. So let's have a look at this. We've got a half and 3/5. If we want to work out which one is bigger, we could get the two denominators to be the same number, because then we just need to compare the top number, the numerator. So the easiest way to do it is times the two denominators. So we do 5 times 2, which will give us 10. So we're timesing this whole fraction by 5, and we're timesing this whole fraction by 2. Why am I timesing the whole fraction, not just the bottom? Fantastic, whatever you do to the bottom, you need to do to the top. So can you see, we're just timesing this fraction by this denominator, and this fraction by this denominator. So let's do this one first. We've got a half, and we're timesing the top by 5 and the bottom by 5, which will give us 5 over 10. Can you see that these are still equivalent fractions? We're not changing the value of these fractions, we're just trying to get the denominator the same. So this one is equivalent to 5/10. Let's have a look at this one now. We're timesing all of this fraction by 2. So we've got 3/5, we're timesing the top by 2, the bottom by 2. So 3 times 2 will give us 6. 5 times 2 will give us 10. So this one is equivalent to 6/10. So now which one is bigger? 5/10 or 6/10? I can even draw it out for you if you want in a little bar model. So each one of these is split up into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, so this one we're shading in 5. So imagine this is a chocolate bar. I'm eating 5 of these. This one, I'm eating 6 of them. So which one is bigger? Which one am I eating more of? This one. Fantastic, because look, the numerator is bigger on this one than it is on this one. So the biggest number would be 3/5. Okay, we've got a question now that has an improper fraction. Can you spot which one the improper fraction is? Yeah, fantastic, it's both of them, isn't it? Because look, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So a proper fraction is where the numerator is less than the denominator, and an improper fraction is where this one is bigger than this one. So we want to see which one's bigger, 13/8 or 9/4. Even though they're improper fractions, we can still work it out exactly the same. So we want to get the denominators the same. Now, do we need to times this fraction by 4 and this fraction by 8 to get the same denominator? No, we don't, do we? Because look, 4 can go into 8. 8 is in the 4 times table. So what can we do to this fraction and just this one to get 8 on the bottom? What do we need to times 4 by to get to 8? Yeah, that's it. We times that whole fraction by 2. So we leave this one as it is. This one, we do 9 times 2 and 4 times 2. So that will give us the equivalent fraction of 18/8. So this fraction we know is 18/8. So which one has the biggest numerator? Which one is the larger of the two fractions? It's this one. So your answer would be 9/4. Right, this question is going to be to find the smallest fraction. So we're not looking for the biggest anymore, we're looking for the smallest. Now look here, we've got a mixed number fraction. So a mixed number fraction is where you've got a whole and your fraction. So this means we've got one whole and 4/6. So you can imagine that that looks like you've got two pizzas split up into 6. There we go. You've got one whole pizza and 4/6 of a pizza. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So the first step that I would do is get rid of this and turn it into an improper fraction, because look, the other two are improper fractions. So to work that out, we've got 6 here, haven't we? Because we've got a whole one. So you do 6 add 4, which will give us 10. Another way to turn this into an improper fraction would be, if you were to write it out, you work it out like a triangle. You do this number times this number, then whatever you get, you add it to the top. So you do your denominator times by the whole number, add the numerator, which will still give us 10 for the numerator, won't it? Because look, 6 times 1 is 6, add 4 is 10. So we know that this is equivalent to 10/6. Now what do we need to do to compare the fractions? We can either times these two fractions to get a 6 on the bottom, or what could we do to this fraction to get 3 on the bottom? Yeah, fantastic. We can divide this one by 3, can't we? Sorry, by 2 to give us 3 on the bottom. So whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. So look, there's our smallest one. There's our smallest answer. As I say, the other way would be to times these two to get 6 on the bottom. But even if you did that, you will still get this as your smallest number, because they're equivalent fractions. So try it out both ways, but as you can see, this way was a lot quicker. So this is going to be your question to have a go at. You're going to try and find the smallest. Okay? So out of these fractions, so you've got 3/5, 2/6 and 7/30. Okay, you've got to pretend that you're a detective. So just take it step by step. Remember, you need to get all the denominators the same first. Okay, whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, and then you can compare your fractions. We'll go through the answer in a minute. So it's 3/5, 2/6 or 7/30. Which one is the smallest? Right, let's work this out then. So we've got 7/30 as our, that's the one with the biggest denominator, isn't it? So can 5 go into 30? Yes, it can. Can 6 go into 30? Yes, it can. So for me, the easiest way to do it would be to get all the denominators as 30. So what do we times 5 by to get to 30? We times it by 6. So we have to times that whole fraction by 6. What do we need to times 6 by to get to 30? 5. So we've got to times the whole fraction by 5. Now we know 30 is going to be the denominators. So 6 times 3, that will give us 18. 5 times 2, that will give us 10 or 7/30. Because we've left that one the same. So which one is the smallest? So at first glance, you might think, oh, that one, it's got the biggest denominator, that one must be the biggest. But look, when we stick all the denominators the same, that one is going to be your answer, isn't it? Because that one is going to be the smallest, because the numerator is the smallest. You've got 18 on this one, 10 on this one, and 7 on that one. So in effect, you're eating less pizza on that one. So you've split your pizza into 30, you're eating 10 slices on that one, 18 slices on that one, and 7 slices on that one.